What's going on, everyone? It's JAMODO here, back again on the FUTWIZ YouTube channel, and I'm once again joined by FUTWIZ Pro, FUTWIZ Dylan. Dylan, how are we doing today?
Very well, thank you. Very well.
We're back again, but today it's something a little bit different, and we have something that I'm sure a lot of people are going to love to see. And once again, especially me, because I'm struggling right now, post-patch as well, and today we have the 4-2-3-1 custom tactics and instructions video from our very own FUTWIZ Pro, FUTWIZ Dylan. I can't wait to get into it and see myself what he's been using to get more wins on FIFA 23.
Right, so these are the tactics of the 4-2-3-1. Very basic, but very effective. So we'll go from the top. As you can see, defensive style balance, I think that's just the best one overall. 45 defensive width. You don't want to be too wide with your defenders because through balls this year are very effective. So if you can make the gap between your fullbacks and your centre backs a bit smaller, so you reduce the pockets of space that your attackers can run into, I think that's really effective. 60 depth. You don't want to be sitting on the edge of your box the whole game, but at the same time you don't want your depth too high. As I said before, if your depth is very high, you're very susceptible to through balls, so that's why I've got 60 depth. Now the attacking tactics, build up play balanced. I feel this is just, as it says by the name, the most balanced. I guess you can just do everything with it.
Dylan, I've got a little bit of a question while we're on this one, just quickly. From someone like me, obviously not getting as many wins as you in the weekend league, I was using a fast build-up for a little bit. I wanted to try and score a lot of goals, but I might have to change. I think I might have to go back to balance. What do you think about fast build-up? Pros, cons, what are we saying? Especially like a starting formation.
See, I think fast build-up's alright, especially if you want to try to get back into the game. If I look at this screen here, as you can see, whenever you win the ball, if you got fast build-up turned on, all your attacks will just sprint forward at once.
Yeah.
So it's like a very high risk, high reward strategy, I guess.
Yeah, I was noticing I was in a lot of high-scoring games, either winning 6-5 or like losing 6-5, but I might have to go back with balanced. I've been a big fan of 4-2-3-1 in the past as well, so I will be copying these, just letting you know.
Yeah, I think they should help you out a bit. Anyways, now onto the chance creation. I've been experimenting with this one a little bit. I feel the two best for me are balanced and direct passing. I think direct passing just edges it a bit. Pretty much what direct passing does is, you can see in the description there, once you're in the attacking zone, your players with direct passing turned on will make runs in behind and look for space. So I feel like the AI just does a bit more for you when you got direct passing turned on when you compare it to balanced.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason why direct passing.
I feel like direct passing became more of a thing last FIFA, right? In FIFA 22, a lot of pros were using it for the first time. We hadn't really seen it in any other years. I don't even know if it was actually in the game in other years. I've been carrying that over from last FIFA as well, but it's interesting for you to talk about balance because I haven't really even thought about using that. But I guess I'll stick with direct passing for now, but balance is an option.
Yep. Direct passing, I would recommend it, but balance, if it doesn't work out, definitely try test this, because I personally mix between the two.
Yeah.
Now onto the width, 50 width. I feel like, you know, in the 4-2-3-1, it's a very balanced formation as it is. You don't want your wingers being like isolated on the wings, but at the same time, you don't want to be playing too narrow. So I feel like just using the default setting of the formation, it just works best. 5 players in the box. You're going to want all your attackers making runs. And also potentially in the right scenarios, maybe one of your CDMs helping to support the play. That just gives you an extra option at times. If it's on like 3 players in the box, you won't have all those options in the final third.
I feel like as well, correct me if I'm wrong, Dylan, but with the 4-2-3-1, as it is, like you said, very balanced. On the flip side, it's not like the 4-4-2. You don't have 2 strikers up top. So if you have only 3 players in the box, it's probably not enough. And then your one lone striker is probably going to be a bit isolated. So I like it. 5 in the box, get players going in. Especially that CDM as well, helping out.
Exactly, and I'll come back to it a little bit later, but this kind of combines with the player instruction that you want to turn on.
Okay.
And then just 2 corners, 2 free kicks. I don't feel like this matters too much. It's just I don't want to have too many players up in those attacking scenarios, and then I can get caught on the counter attack. So
yeah,
I feel like 2 is the sweet spot for both of these.
Yeah.
Okay, so onto the instructions now. So we'll start with the striker. Now you can see I've just left the striker on default. In a 2-striker formation, my basic instinct would be to turn on get in behind on the striker. But because we're playing only a 1-striker formation and we've got direct passing turned on, the majority of the time your striker will already be making runs in behind. And I found that with get in behind turned on as well, majority of your time, your striker just isn't offering like a pass to feet when he should be. So I feel, yeah, just leaving this on balance is the best. It gives you the best of both worlds. He makes the runs in behind because of direct passing. But at the same time, like, because it's only a lone striker, he's going to need to support the play a bit more. Now,
it's a good point, because sometimes, like, in the 4-2-3-1 myself, I've used get in behind, but like you said, when there's only one striker there and they're on getting behind, if they're getting in behind and suddenly you want to play defeat, they don't have that luxury of a second striker there to help out. There's literally no one there, so I do like that.
Cams, this could be labeled a bit defensive, but I feel like the 4-2-3-1 is just very astute defensively. It's also good going forward. But I feel this is just, you know, the best way, giving yourself the best chance to defend on this game, because it can be very difficult to defend this year. So the middle cam, you want comeback on defense. Everything else you just leave the same. The two wide attacking mids, the left attacking mid, right attacking mid, also on comeback on defense. But you're gonna want to put these on getting the box across. So a lot of the time when you play 4-2-3-1, you'll notice like when you're running down the wing, there'll be crossing opportunities at the back post. So if you turn this on, they'll make those runs back post, and that just gives you another option going forward and another really good way of scoring goals this year, because crossing is very effective. Now, this is the instruction I was alluding to before. So one of your CDMs you're going to have on stay back while attacking and cover center. The other one, and the more attacking center defensive mid, I guess you could say, you're going to want to leave unbalanced and also cover center. Now, when you combine the 5 players in the box and the balanced attacking support here, that CDM will often offer up like a late run into the box, which is very difficult for your opponent to defend. And it gives you another option when you're struggling to build up chances. If you're very patient, you'll find more often than not, this CDM here, whilst he won't always make the run and commit himself forward if you get into the box, he'll also be there, you know, just supporting the play. But at the right time, he'll be making the run. So it's one of those where it's just a bit more balanced as opposed to like going all out attack and putting on get forward.
And you don't think it makes a difference, right, if you have that balanced player on the right or the left? It's just depending on whatever, or would you say it has to be on the right defensive midfielder?
No, for me, I've used it on both. It's just whichever side you prefer having, you know, your more attacking player on.
So like in my team, I've got De Bruyne and Fofana. Obviously, naturally, De Bruyne's the attacking player. I want him on balance, help out with the attack, and then Fofana's going to be on stay back and literally just holding that little space in the midfield out of the defense pretty much.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Okay.
Now, to finish it off with the defense, you're going to want to have stay back while attacking on both of your fullbacks. This doesn't prevent you from attacking with your fullbacks. It's just a lot of the time when it's set unbalanced or join the attack for the fullbacks, I find that the AI makes runs which leave you prone to counter attacks. So the reason why I've got on stay back while attacking is because I like triggering the runs myself. But if you are struggling to create, you can turn one of the fullbacks onto balance. I would recommend, not both, but I would say if you do want to turn it onto balance, what you should do is have the balanced fullback on the opposite side to the balanced CDM. So for example, in this team, when I've got Perisic on balanced attack, he's the right defensive mid. If I want to turn the fullback onto balance, it'll be Mendy. And then if Ronaldo Sanchez was the one on balanced attack, then it would be Cancelo.
Obviously, it makes sense, right? Because like you said, if on that right side, Perisic is the one on balance, then he's going to be helping out with the attack. If Cancelo's on balance as well on that right side, he's going to be helping out with the attack. Suddenly, you've got a hole in the right side of the midfield and then a hole in the right side of your defense, which is not ideal, especially like you've spoken about. For counter-attacks, there's going to be big holes there. One thing I wanted to ask you about, Dylan, and something that I've used, is like the run types of my fullbacks. Sometimes I put overlap on. Do you think, what are like the pros and cons to that? I've been testing it out a bit, but then I feel like you said, I'm not doing that myself, right? So then the AI is just obviously sending them on a wild run every now and again.
I feel like there's not too much of a difference, to be honest, with the run type. I've experimented with it a little bit, but I haven't noticed a major difference. So I just leave it on balance. Like, if the AI wants to make a run on the inside or the outside, like, just whatever it thinks is the smartest option, I guess.
I might have to try that out then. And that's about it, right? There's not too much more to go into. I feel like you explained every little detail quite well. Obviously, if you guys are watching this as well, I hope you've enjoyed this. Even myself, listening to Dylan explain why he's done certain things. I've seen a lot of tactics videos and people just say what they've done, but don't actually give like an explanation as to why. And hopefully, you watching this, it gives you a good indication. It teaches you more about the game, and it teaches you more, and it teaches you why pros like Dylan are using this formation and the specific instructions and tactics. So thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something, and I hope you can get more wins with this formation. Dylan, thanks again. Any last words?
I'll just drop my controller, but apart from that,
Leave that in the video.
Yeah, like the video, subscribe, drop a comment if these tactics help you out. And yeah, I think if you are struggling on the game, especially post-patch, the game's changed a lot. I would highly recommend these tactics.
There you go. Peace.